So how did we meet?
How did we meet? We met.
How do we? That question is kind of weird because it's like for us, because it's like how did we meet? It's more a question of when did we come together as opposed to how did we meet? Because
but it was kind of meeting as well, honey.
Initially, officially.
Background story is we both grew up in the Church of God in Christ.
Second jurisdiction. My pastor, Bishop Samuel L. Green Jr., was a jurisdictional prelate, and his right-hand man was my pastor, Bishop Barnett Carl Thurgood.
Right. So technically, we grew up around each
Different
other.
Different churches,
our entire life.
Same jurisdiction.
Singing in the same state choir.
Passing each other in the hallways at the convocation center.
Right.
For years.
Our entire lives.
Not even thinking of each other, like just in passing, like, okay, all right.
Didn't really hang out in the same social circles.
Young girl from St. John.
Right.
Her and her brother is real tight. They always together. I always see her and her brother together.
People thought me and my brother
all the time.
In an odd prearranged marriage. Some people did. And I'm like, when I found that out when I got older, I was like, ew, that's my brother.
Y'all was just always together.
Because we actually like each other. We didn't have that bickering, fighting relationship.
Well, anyway, one night, convocation 2009 Jamal Bryant was preaching.
Yes, he was just throwing out promises saying that, that's what I like to call it, throwing out promises, talking about, whatever that thing that you have been praying for, time is about to speed up for you. It's about to be cut in half. It's about to move double time. And so I'm like, all right. I had ended relationships. I had ended a modeling career. I was really trying to focus on what it was that I wanted to do with my life. And something that was very important to me was, having a family, being a wife, all those types of things. So I was cleaning my life and clearing it out so that I would be able to be in a position to be found, to put it in a churchy way. So that if a family was what I wanted, a husband was what I wanted, I needed to make sure that certain things in my life were cleared out and cleared up so that I would be able to receive that. Because if you want to be churchy about it, it says that, God will bless you so that you won't have room enough to receive. But I just didn't have room enough to receive because I was kind of filling myself with things that were unnecessary and things that I didn't need. So I was clearing out space so that I could receive the husband that I had been praying for and wanting, and receive the family that I had been praying for and wanting.
Yeah, my mind was nowhere there. Like I would move from young lady to young lady to young lady for extended periods of time, back to previous young ladies, back to the young lady. I would bounce back and forth. It was too transparent there because I don't want to talk too much about myself, looking like the dog that I was, but it was a little rough for me. So I was just, for me, I really do believe that it was the grace of God that brought me into, really the grace of God that brought this young lady into my view. Really. I mean, when I first saw her, I'll be honest, when I first saw her across the auditorium, I was like, is that the girl from St. John? Like, cause she was looking cute that night, had on a black and gold dress. And I was like, wow, okay. I just came out of a relationship, I think maybe 4 or 5 months or whatever out of the relationship. And so, I don't know, I guess I called myself shooting my shot. So I sent her a message on Facebook. And
slid in the DMs.
Yeah, this is when Facebook was only for college students only. Like, it was just college students only. So I sent her a message and I was like, is that you in that black and gold last night? As a matter of fact, I still can find that message on my inbox in Facebook. I screenshotted it and I still have it saved in my files. But
we'll add it to the video.
Yeah. So she was like,
I didn't know the Lord meant watch as well as pray like that.
Yeah. I said, well, I was watching.
You all in the service.
Definitely.
Supposed to be worshiping.
Yeah,
KD worship. Got folks looking at you.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
But he shot his shot. And we've been talking ever since. We met each other, I think maybe the next day.
Mm-hmm. I came back after we came back to church the next night.
Yeah. And so after service was over or something like that, we met by the stairs in the Hampton University Convention Center.
And then from there, just started talking
And what did you say to me?
I don't know what
At
I
the
said.
convention center?
Probably something ignorant.
No, you didn't.
What I said.
I think you said, hey, how you doing? And I said, hello, how are you?
Yo, she came. No, what happened was, I rolled up on her and was like, yo, what's up? That's what I said. I was like, what's up? You know, trying to be smooth with her. She's like, hi, how are you? I was like, oh, intellect. Got it. My type. I like that. Let me switch it up then, you know? So, yeah.
So, after that, you know, we just kept talking, kept dating. And it was not easy. But I was dating with a purpose. I would tell him, you know, this is a courtship. So if that's not what you want to be in, you know, let me know that now. But this is a courtship. It's going somewhere. Jason is actually the first church guy that I have ever dated, because I just viewed kind of the guys that I grew up with, like in church, like they're my brothers. They're like extended family to me. So I didn't really, they didn't really spark my interest in that way, just because I just knew them on such a personal level. You know, that I genuinely just had love for them, like a sister with a brother. So I didn't really have relationships.
We're not getting into the spiritual ancestry. It's not happening. It's like, you know, she won't feel
You know, and nothing against them. I grew up with some really great guys, you know. I don't know. I just never looked at them that way, you know. You know, it wasn't anything wrong with the guys in my church or anything like that. You know, like I said, they're really great dudes, but I don't know. I just didn't really view them that way. They were my brothers. They were genuinely my brothers. Like, I just love them because they're my brothers. You know, I dated other guys, you know, that weren't, I can't say that, I don't want to say that they weren't in church at all, but they weren't like churchy the way that we grew up churchy, like
Pentecostal.
we drenched in it. Like, it was the foundation of who I am. Like, I cannot,
it's the roots.
I can't not reference God in a 30-minute conversation, if that makes sense. Like, I'm going to say some type of churchy anecdote. And it was refreshing to be with someone who I didn't have to explain the joke to, or
why we in offering so long?
Right.
Why did he just say that across the pulpit?
Exactly. Like, it was I
remember dating some girls that were not from the tradition.
Yeah.
They call it the tradition. And they had questions like, so you want me to dress a certain, how do I have to dress to come to this church now?
Yeah.
And, you know, like, did he just say nigga across the pulpit? And, you know, whatever. We ain't gonna go down that road.
No,
but,
we're not.
you know, I'm like, yo, I had to explain. So there's a lot that was like, say less. You know how people say less now? It was a lot of
It was an understanding. It was a huge sigh of relief, because we just had a general understanding of one another and our upbringings.
So that got a lot of stuff out of the way.
Right.
Having a shared foundation.
Absolutely.